Hello my friends and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look on how to quickly and effectively train Scrappy to max level. We're going to go over every single item you need and the best places to find them. Here is a list of every single item required. Level 2 Scrappy requires a dog collar. Level 3 Scrappy requires 3 lemons and 3 apricots. Level 4 Scrappy requires 6 prickly pears, 6 olives and a cat bed. And finally, level 5 Scrappy requires 12 mushrooms, 12 apricots and 3 comfortable pillows. So the total is 1 dog collar, 3 lemons, 15 apricots, 6 olives, 6 prickly pears, 1 cat bed and 12 mushrooms and 3 very comfortable pillows. And to kick things off, let's get started with level 1, which is a dog collar. Dog collar is a recyclable item, which means you can pretty much find it almost anywhere. My recommendation is to look for the areas with a lot of lockers and drawers. Since it is a blue item, I would also suggest looking in high loot areas, which are marked as red on the map. And the best places for that would be the control tower or research and administration building on Dam Battlegrounds, or the departure building in Spaceport. Both of those buildings have a bunch of lockers and drawers. For Dam Battlegrounds, go to the second floor of research and administration. And like I said, there are a bunch of lockers and drawers for you to search. If you choose to go for Spaceport, look for the locker room in the basement. And then move to the top floor of the departure building where the big office area is, and just go from cubicle to cubicle, look for the desks and search the drawers in there. Both of those locations will be mentioned later for very comfortable pillows as well as cat beds. You need 3 very comfortable pillows and a single cat bed, so there's a very good chance you'll find both of those ahead of time, so make sure you don't sell them by accident. For Scrappy level 3, you need to get your hands on 3 lemons and 3 apricots, both of which can easily be found at the blue gate location, specifically at the northern village. In the middle of the village, you will see an area that has 6 apricot trees and 3 lemon trees. The same village also has a few olive trees next to the same area. Look for the more grayish trees when going to the west of the apricot and lemon trees, and you should be able to find 4 or 5 trees specifically for olives. I recommend checking those every single time, just to get your olives ahead of time. There are a bunch of more trees around the whole map for olives, lemons and apricots, but the village seems to be fairly uncontested when it comes to those particular items, and since they're so close together, it makes sense to check this particular area for those items. Another great spot for apricots is the Dam Battlegrounds, specifically the islands around the Red Lake. You have 8 trees combined, 4 trees on each island, and it is not uncommon to get all of your required apricots if you go through every single tree one by one. Also, while checking the apricots over at the Red Lake, make sure to check the cacti next to the Raider Hatch as well for prickly pears. Scrappy level 4 requires 6 olives, 6 prickly pears and a cat bed. And since there's a chance you skip the last chapter for level 3, I will go over the olives again. Best spot is the northern village at the blue gate. There's around 4 to 5 olive trees at the western part of the village, next to where the lemon and apricot trees are. If you're lucky, you could get all 6 in one raid, but you might need to come back once or twice. Sometimes the olive trees just do not want to produce olives for us. Also, there are a bunch of olive trees around the whole map, and there is a specific location called Olive Grove. That area is fairly contested in my experience, so just do the village route if you wish to avoid PvP. Damn Battlegrounds has a lot of spawns for prickly pears, but from my experience I only found pears consistently at 2 locations. One was at the Swampside Elevator, and the other one at the Spillway Hatch, which is located at the Red Lake. I might be wrong, but from my experience, not every single location with cacti spawns prickly pears, and when I stopped searching for cacti and just stuck to looting the 2 locations I just mentioned, I got my pears fairly quickly. And finally, the cat bed. Same story as the dog collar. Look for lockers and drawers, and you should have no trouble locating the cat bed in a raid or 2. Once again, I recommend the control tower at Damn Battlegrounds or the departure building at Spaceport. And finally, level 5 Scrappy. We need to find 12 mushrooms, 12 apricots, and 3 very comfortable pillows. And starting off with the hardest item on the list, mushrooms. These can be found all over the place, but I have only found one single location with a guaranteed spawn of 3 mushrooms. Well, you pick up 3 mushrooms, but you somehow always end up with 4 of them. And for that, we're going to the trench on Spaceport, just north of the rocket assembly. Over there, you will find a dead tree that has 3 mushroom spawns on it every single time. If you don't find any, someone else got there before you. So it might be a good idea to bring an adrenaline shot to regen stamina a little bit faster, so you get there a little bit faster. Also, it was fairly busy when I checked the area this morning, so just be aware that you will most likely run into some people in that area. Also, if this video gets more than 12 views, that probably won't help in terms of keeping it on the down low. Best spot for just apricots and almost 0 chance of running into players is the Red Lake at Damn Battlegrounds. There is a decent chance that you will be able to find all 12 in one raid, but unless someone clears it ahead of you, it should not take more than 2 raids total. And finally, 3 very comfortable pillows. Best spot for these is once again in any high loot area with a bunch of lockers and drawers, such as Control Tower, / Research and Administration on Damn Battlegrounds, or the Departure Building at Spaceport. The second floor of Research Building has a bunch of lockers and drawers in a small area, and you should be able to check everything in around 5 minutes if uncontested. If you choose to go for the Departure Building, look for the locker room in the basement, and then move on to the second floor of the building where the office area is. There's a bunch of desks with a ton of drawers for you to look through. And that about sums it up. Now you should be able to get Scrappy level 5 fairly easily, so you will never run out of seeds, metal parts, and other basic stuff that you need. Thank you for watching, my friends. I would appreciate a like and a sub if you don't mind, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.